Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video we're going to be applying or solving the limit out of the movie Mean Girls. So there's this famous scene in this movie Mean Girls where they're in a math competition and there's a limit question, and pretty much they say the limit does not exist. So pretty much doing that specific problem, and pretty much the limit that is this one here. So in the movie, the main character says the limit does not exist. And now we're going to be understanding why that's true for this limit. So for example, if I plug in x equals 0, we are going to get pretty much this following expression. So we're going to get natural log of 1 minus sine of 0 divided by 1 minus 1 squared. Now from the top we know natural log of 1 is 0, and we know sine of 0 is 0. So on the top you're going to have 0. And on the bottom we're also going to have 0 because 1 squared is just 1, and you'll have 1 minus 1, which is also 0. So we get the scenario 0 divided by 0. So when we have this scenario here, we can use L'Hopital's rule. So if you have a 0 divided by 0 or an infinity over infinity, we can use L'Hopital's rule. So these two scenarios, so what L'Hopital's rule basically says is as this specific number, as it approaches this specific number, you can differentiate the top and bottom and it'll be the exact same value. So pretty much if you have f of x over g of x, if you differentiate the top and bottom and you apply that same limit, they're equivalent. So what we have here is this expression. We're going to differentiate the top. So if we differentiate natural log, the inside function is 1 minus x squared. If you differentiate that, you get minus 1. So you're going to have minus 1 over, let's actually just draw this so if I can get my pen out, and we'll get white. So if I want to differentiate natural log of 1 minus x, the inside function will be negative 1. And the outside function will be 1 over 1 minus x squared. So you're going to have negative 1 on 1 minus x. Minus sign will turn into cos, so it'll be minus cos. Down here, if you want, you could actually rearrange that for sine squared, but that will just be a chain rule. So cos squared can be written like this. Differentiate the outside, so you have 2 cos, and differentiating cos, you get minus sine, so you have minus 2 sine of x, and then the 1 will just turn to 0. So when we go to the next slide, that's why we have that following expression, and that following expression at the bottom. Okay? So once we do this, let's pretty much plug in 0 and see what we get. So if we plug in 0, we're going to get, well, the 0 here, the 0 there, and the 0 there, the 0 there, and we're going to get minus 2 divided by 0. So in other words, we kind of have a weird scenario. So if we were actually to graph our function here, this is what we get. So we've got the left hand side, we can see the curve goes up towards positive infinity, and the curve on the right hand side goes down to minus infinity. So if you went from pretty much the left, not the right, sorry. So what I mean by positive 0 is that means you're coming from this direction over here. So let's use a black pen because that's white. Let's go black. So if I come from this side here, my curve approaches negative infinity. And if I come from this side here, my curve approaches positive infinity. So in other words, the limit doesn't really exist because if you approach either side, you approach negative or positive infinity. And that's about it. That's pretty much the solution. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Give a thumbs up and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.